The next point to discuss is the possibility of there being multiple shooters at the scene. Now, we have a lot of evidence within the witness interviews, but at the moment we are just focusing on the police radio transmission itself. The radio transmission lasted approximately 1 hour 32 minutes. Well, that's not the only one that has been released at this point. And within that time, there was 7 different instances where a shooter or shooters have been described. So we're going to go through a few of them now. So you will hear that now, and then we'll discuss it afterwards.
321, one of the shooters might be wearing a white and blue plaid shirt.
Copy, outstanding. Shooter possibly wearing a white and blue plaid shirt.
Suspect saying he's the only one, but I'm getting conflicting suspect description from the witnesses out here.
The transmission that you just heard was at 0959, and it's basically saying that one of the shooters, multiple with an S, might be wearing a white and blue plaid shirt. Now, please take note that the main dispatch lady, she says, copy, outstanding shooter, possibly wearing a white and blue plaid shirt. Now, just keep note of what she does, because that's very important towards the end of this video. We already know that James Holmes has been caught in his car, and we also know what he was wearing due to what the policeman said. So he had a gas mask on, he had a vest on, so we know that he definitely wasn't wearing a white and blue plaid shirt.
They're going to give us an update in just a second. TAC 16, sorry, TAC 21, Denver TAC 21. One of the construction workers said somebody just came booking out of the parking lot. Male, red backpack, that's all they saw, was headed towards Alameda.
Well, Baker 81, I'm on Alameda right now.
In Baker 81, we have an RP advising a male dressed in black with a black backpack going to the northeast.
Copy, all units on Blue Southeast. Denver TAC 21 stating a male with a red backpack and another one possibly in black clothing headed towards Alameda.
So the dispatch that you just heard was at 24:19, which was 18 minutes after James has been arrested. It basically is stating that one of the construction workers said somebody just came booking out of the parking lot, male, red backpack. And this is important because of the fact that out of all the hundreds of people that were there, the construction worker noticed this one guy and thought that this was a bit strange. So it's just worth just picking up on that, and the fact that there's a backpack, and within the whole of the audio transmission, there is a point where they actually do find a backpack, and they do get that searched for bombs and for devices. So that is quite important.
Okay, suspect is going to be a male, unknown race, black camo type outfit, believed to be wearing a vest, gas mask, and multiple long guns.
Copy, all units responding to the theater. Suspect is male, unknown race, black camo outfit, possible vest, gas mask, and multiple long guns.
Go ahead with your update.
Updated version, suspect in all black, black tactical vest, black tactical helmet, balaclava, gas mask, full tactical gear, at least one handgun, possible shotgun, and possible one other long gun.
So these two that you've just heard, the reason I grouped them together is because they're kind of just saying the same thing. I'm like male, and I'm like black, I'm like camo, the vest, the gas mask, and the long guns, handguns, shotgun. Now I'm assuming that they're getting this information, from the witnesses, and so yeah, that kind of describes what James was wearing, which is why I'm not really going to put much emphasis onto this, but it's just good just to gather all the evidence. So yeah, so these two kind of describes what James was wearing, but still is as important.
Their truck. And Lincoln 25, we have witnesses that left that are saying that they did see the shooter. They do have blood splatter on them. They're not injured. What do you want us to do with those people?
So the one you've just heard was at 40:22. Now it doesn't describe the shooters, like all shooter as such, but listen to what the dispatch woman actually says. We have witnesses that left that are saying they did see the shooters, plural again. Then she says that they do have blood spots, but they are not injured. What do you want us to do with those people? Now, the first thing is the fact that witnesses that were in Theatre 9 have already left without being questioned or anything. That is quite scary, basically, because anyone could have got away easily. And then the fact that she actually says shooters, which means that the witnesses themselves have said that, that's a point to take into consideration.
321, I had another witness say green camouflage pants.
This dispatch was taken at 56:40. You have the police officer saying, I had another witness saying green camouflage pants. Now, the fact that he uses that word, another, means more than one witness has said this. Otherwise, he would have just said, I have a witness saying green camouflage pants. From all the evidence we've just heard, in my opinion, there were definitely more than one shooter. The fact that you have the witnesses and the police guys themselves constantly saying shooters rather than shooter, I would definitely think there is more than one shooter. And then the fact that we have so many different descriptions as well, that adds to that point. Now, the next two audio dispatches that you're going to hear happened 1 hour and 16 minutes after we heard the first dispatch. Now, this is very, very important. So I'm going to play it to you and then I'll discuss why they are so important.
Yeah, I don't know if this information has already been put out, but I'm talking to people who've been giving statements. It sounds like we have possibly two shooters, one that was in Theater 8 seated, another one that came in from the outside into Theater 9. Sounded like it was a coordinated attack.
Cruiser 49, were you clear? They did find an open door at the Aurora Mall. We have the main entrances covered. We have a perimeter set up. Denver K-9 is coordinating the search inside the mall at this time.
Code 4, I just wanted to ensure if we have the information out that there's possibly two shooters.
Negative. That is new news break. Every unit on Blue Southeast. Possible second shooter still at large.
Okay, so what we just heard was just absolutely ridiculous, right? It really annoys me. Firstly, you have a police guy on the scene, says, I don't know if this information has already been put out, which it has several times before, which means that nobody is relaying this information to anybody else. Because obviously, the police officer would know if he was to be looking out for a second shooter. And then he says, I'm talking to people, taking statements, sounds like we have possible two shooters. So he is saying that he's talking to the people there and there is two shooters. He goes, one that was in Theatre 8 seated and then one that came in from the outside into Theatre 9. And he blatantly says that it sounds like it's a coordinated attack. Now, the dispatch lady totally disregards what he's saying and carries on with something else, to the point where he again has to come onto the radio and ask, I just wanted to know if we had the information out there that there was possibly two shooters. Now, this is where it really gets to me. She turns back and says, negative, that is new news break. Now, from all the information that I've told you, that is not new news break. We've heard it 5 to 6 times, and that's when she does a full dispatch saying possible second shooter still at large. This is 1 hour and 16 minutes and 51 seconds after we first hear the radio start. Now, this is just absurd. Yeah, like, I'm not a police officer or anything, but if as soon as you hear that there's a second shooter, you would seal off everything soon as possible and let everybody on the scene know that there could be a second shooter. She blatantly lies and says negative. That is new newsbreak. Now, yeah, like, you can take whatever you want from this video, but personally, there was more than one shooter. From the first video that I've done, it seems that James Holmes was in the car the whole time. So where are these shooters?